Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. Y'all know why y'all here. Anything I say is alleged in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal, and the Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description. Some housekeeping, some meat and potato items. It is free to follow me, free to subscribe to this channel, Anonymous Tea, free to subscribe to my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast, free to follow me on the Tickety Talk. Promise I got content coming over there. Work's been a little crazy this week. On Anonymous Tea Podcast, and follow me on the gram, on the Instagrammies at Anonymous Reality Tea, and it is always free to share everywhere, you guys, so everyone can see the video. So nonetheless, a couple of other things too. You can still see the part of Mel's live where she is pulling out the receipts for Kimmy and the text messages. There's a live over there, or not a live, a video uploaded on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast, as well as when Mel went out, her live went out, and I think people thought it ended. I have those 56 minutes on the Anonymous Tea Podcast as well for y'all to check it out. So I think we're on part 5, I think, of, Mel's live. There's a few more things that I wanted to talk about that she had discussed in her live that I wanted to recap. And so, nonetheless, we had talked about how Destiny, basically she was laying out the timeline of how most of the interactions with Destiny was with couples, with either the Fletchers and the Williams and the Holts. Like, that was the extent. And then once she got on the show, then every once in a while there'd be some individual scenes, but that was more so after both of them had got divorced from their husbands. So nonetheless, but in between all of that, Destiny was like obsessed with Mel and was always contacting her, is always trying to, be all up under her and all these things. And it was just weird. And so Mel talked about how, she's babysat Law on times for, Destiny to go out, do things, get things accomplished and all this. And I think one time she said Destiny needed to get a massage, and, she basically watched the baby and everything else. And Mel is giving these examples, the quote unquote old information, because how can you say somebody is grooming you, but you trust them around your children? Make it make sense. So that was the point of her bringing that up, that if Mel is this monster, why would you allow for her to be around your child? So then as well, Mel pretty much says that she understands she is, as the main character, people are going to come after her, right? She's the Nene Leakes of the show, right? So nonetheless, when you're the star of the show, everyone's going to try to come at you for camera time and screen time. That's just the nature of the beast. But the difference is, people usually have something going on in their own lives to talk about as well, and not center their entire storyline of trying to take somebody else down. And that is the part, Mel feels a certain type of way because she feels that they came at her extra hard this season, whether it was the beginning with the MELOMETERS or, the second half where the cast just didn't want to discuss anything, but basically made Mel the issue and the scapegoat of it all. But really, it's your fault. You're not contributing to the scene. And also felt a way that y'all only went and met about the Revenge P, only for the simple fact that y'all are now turned against each other. And now y'all are beefing with each other. The same person that you've aligned with in favor of, as it pertains to, the between Mel and Tal, you chose Martel's side. As long as he kept your secrets, everything was all good. But now all of a sudden, you want to play this game. And so Mel's talking about standing up for what is right, knowing the difference between right and wrong, and all sorts of things. And so she's talked about, how she felt that there would have been a certain level of respect, knowing what Mel went through, knowing she was cheating on, knowing her ex had a baby on her with this long-term mistress that's been around a lot of y'all and everything else. But y'all are silent, but y'all are very vocal when Destiny is saying all these things that she's got going on. And it's just weird because it's like most of y'all have admitted and been on the record that y'all don't even like Destiny, nor do y'all see it for her. And you've had a longer relationship with Mel. You've known Mel a lot longer, and you've completely just ignored anything that she had been going through. So we talked about also in the Carlos King video, the workplace retaliation. And also, I think something's coming legally. And so we'll see what happens with that. Also, Mel said that as far as the MELOMETERS go, she doesn't understand these rumors about some alleged meetings or that she's leading a cult or that she's telling people what to do. She said she's never going to turn on people who have had her back and who came together basically to love one and support her, because they saw these isolation tactics for several seasons now from the cast, where the cast refused to discuss themselves. Mel told them on multiple occasions she didn't want to discuss her ex-husband. They get in a scene with her. They ask her about her ex-husband and so on and so forth. And it's just one thing after the other. I think, in all honesty, the fact that Kimmy is bringing something to the reunion that is a rumor by a specific person, and all of a sudden there are certain false narratives that are being pushed by certain people, trying to push the cult narrative, trying to push the MELOMETERS on the level of the Beehive of the Barbs and Barty Gang and all that. It's a clear agenda of people who are clearly getting paid something to push these false narratives and make Mel seem like she's this monster. And it's like when you tack that on with the grooming allegations, it's like we just have Roa season 9 all over again with the Candy, Phaedra, and Portia situation. And Candy even said it got to a point where people were putting Bill Cosby in the comments on her page because people believing the allegations. And it's like, where's the apology? Where's the accountability? Listen, all we want is fun shade, but we want people to get along and be able to still function amongst the group. But when you say things that are too gutter, when you say things that you cannot come back from, when you make allegations that are too far, it is done. And I just don't understand, Carlos King, you claim to deny having anything to do with RAPE Gate and that you're following the reality, but you basically make the same implications on yet another show because you have no original ideas. You just want to burn everything to the ground and take it to the most gutter of levels and act like people are just going to accept it and stick around for the monopoly money. It's not going to happen. Make it make sense. And I understand why you wanted Mel to have you be her manager, whether it's a TV manager, whatever, but you wanted to oversee whatever Mel had going on. You wanted to pick her brain about whatever ideas and thoughts that she had so that you could use it for yourself or you could try to sabotage it. And it makes sense. There are certain people amongst your shows who are always sucking up and all of the things because they're probably under you. You're probably managing them, making them promises and delusions of grandeur that they are going to be Hollywood stars, y'all, that they're going to be on the marquee somewhere, and it is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And they keep sucking up to you. They keep being all up in your comments, all up in your posts. We love Carlos King. Rah, rah, rah. We're a raindrop. Woo, woo, woo. And nothing is shaking. Nothing is moving. Even some of the shows are not even filming right now. Make it make sense. So Mel said she's also given suggestions on different storylines. She said that her mom lost her baby sister. This was one of Mel's favorite aunts that she felt was like a second mom to her. She said it would have been great for the show to talk about the therapy that her and her mom were in and, how you can grieve and all this and grieving, even in an older age and things like that, and how it can impact your mental health. The producers didn't want it. Mel thought about having, her brother and her husband on the show, and her brother's husband on the show. They said they would move up to Huntsville, whether they needed to stay up there weeks at a time or whatever, to tell their story or whatever else. And production said, nope, we don't want it. Mel's given several suggestions, and they only see Mel as her and Martell still as a unit. That is how stunted a lot of, this whole production thing is that they do not see Mel as an individual, as a successful entrepreneur without Martell, but she is a success story because she is making all types of moves that Martell doesn't have. And y'all keep trying to make things happen for Martell, and nothing is shaking. And it's almost as if you're so jealous, you're so angry that Mel is able to do stuff on her own, and she has the level of support and backing for it, that all you can do is try to, slander and tarnish her name. That is all you have. But here is the thing. You're the same person that has had this cast, has had these people's kids around each other and everything else. And everybody's kids are old enough now to see all of the stunts and the games and the lies and the betrayals y'all are out here doing on social media. So it is all going to backfire. So nonetheless, also, as far as Nell goes, because I wanted to speak on that as well. Mel basically said that this whole nonsense about Chris and Nell being mentors and counseling her and Martell through their issues, she said it's a load of hogwash. She said it's a load of crap, y'all. She said essentially that, the one time that she really called Nell, crying and hollering and very upset was when Martell stole Mel $17,000. And I would be crying on the phone as well. I'd be hysterical as well. But outside of that, she said, just like with Destiny, she said most of their interactions were as couples. They were all doing couple stuff. And every once in a while, as couples, Chris would get on Martell. But as we see now, obviously, he really wasn't getting on Martell if he is secretly trying to play matchmaker with Martell and his alleged cousin. Make it make sense. So Mel is basically saying, if in fact these are my real friends, why is it an issue, for me not to have scenes with them, to try to film with them and figure out, okay, what is the truth? If we're really genuine friends. The issue Mel had is she's found out that they have been doing all this stuff behind her back, and they were, on the rocks as well. They had some issues on the show as well, to where there was a potential that they weren't going to come back. And so Mel spent 2 hours trying to counsel them, trying to mentor them. That's what the thing is. The real mentor is Mel. All of y'all call Mel for business advice, whether y'all are on good terms with her or not, whether y'all know her or not. Y'all see that she's obviously a success and she's making things shake, and y'all ask her for business advice only for y'all to copy and paste it anyways. And then y'all get on camera and talk greasy about her and completely assassinate her character and her reputation. Where do they do this at? But off camera, you understand that Mel is a mover and shaker. Mel has connections. Mel has high standards, is high class events and all the things. So make it make sense. But once those cameras start rolling, y'all are like Willie Colon from Bell Collective said, or formerly Bell Collective said, Carlos King is the ringmaster, and you have a decision if you are going to be the clowns or the animals. And that's it in a nutshell. You're either the clowns or the animals. There is nothing else for you to do when it is Carlos King. You're either in clownery or you are the animal. So there's no gray area. There is nothing. And that's what his shows are, and that's why people continue to quit. But basically, Mel was very pissed that Nell is trying to use her, deceased mother as a way to blame Mel for, trying to make all these allegations that she spent all this time with Mel and all this and that. And Mel saying that's just flat out not true. And she's saying she would never hinder somebody if they have a loved one that is sick, that is ill, that is dying. She would never try to hinder that and, force them to hang out with her. Like, that's not how she moves. So she was very surprised that this was the route that Nell was taking. And also, she didn't know all these feelings that Nell had harbored up because Nell would play in her face and make it seem like everything was all good. But she's saying all this crap about Mel behind her back. And then furthermore, Mel keeps going on social media. Nell is trying to present this narrative that her and Mel are good. But I kept telling y'all, there is nobody that I know that if you're going to say that you and I have fallen out, or you and somebody have fallen out, that means you're not friends anymore. There's no in between. If you have fallen out with somebody, that means you're not on good terms. That means you're not friends. But people ate it up, and I think now, looking back, was doing that because she didn't want the backlash. She didn't want the smoke from the MELOMETERS. So she lied. Just like she tried to blame Martell for the pictures at the polo event, only for her to still be all up under Martell when it is still said and done, and saying how fine he is. No. None of these people ever liked Mel. They never had her best interest at heart. They never gave a crap about anything Mel went through. Mel has receipts of all the time she's tried to reach out and be nurturing and be a friend to all these people, and all these people gave her their bleep to kiss. And that's just what it is. But nonetheless, everybody, every action has a consequences, y'all. Actions have consequences, and even if they're allegedly filming right now, it doesn't mean their filming is ever going to make the air. Because again, we're still waiting for this official renewal, and I still think it is dependent upon what these ratings look like for this reunion. So if there is a way to get these ratings under that 300,000, ideally under that 200,000, there's some things that could be, postponed, if you will, or put on ice, or put on hiatus, or perhaps what they're filming thus far, they're not satisfied with, because Carlos King had even said on Tamar's show that, he doesn't like working with people who don't like to work. Well, there is an alliance of family members who do not like to work, who do not like to tell their story, who like to tell fabricated stories. So nonetheless, but you keep propping them up. You lost the one person who, presuming Mel is gone, you lost the one person who was willing to give you content for the show, who was willing to give you legitimate content for the show. And you ignored all of her suggestions and only wanted her in the space to where she was always in conflict and was always somehow, it was mentioned somewhere, whether her ex was there or not, that her ex was a topic of conversation. Nobody has to endure that on any other reality show. Once the marriage is over, especially on Housewives, we don't see that husband again. Unless he is on some fame type of nonsense and wants to hook up with another housewife. But for the most part, once it's done, it's done. This is abnormal to allow somebody who's been convicted of DV harassment, third-degree communication, to still have all this clout on the show and be able to tell whatever story he wants and zero consequences. And y'all only bring up the revenge pee, and that y'all knew about it now because now he's after y'all. It's lame, it's weak sauce, but this was very, like I said, a very polarizing live that Mel did. I'm curious to see who she is going to do her one-on-one sit-down interview with, and I presume it would be after the final episode of the reunion, where she can then just kind of lay everything out and everything and all of that. So, and we'll just keep, we'll stay tuned to see what other announcements she has this week ahead of her February 1st TikTok live, y'all. But that was all that I wanted to say in this video. Oh man, we went over, oh my gosh, we're 20 minutes. Okay, I gotta go. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.